In school, kids are taught that the Congress makes the law and the President enforces the law. That's the way the government is supposed to work under our Constitution. Today, however, it doesn't work that way. In today's U.S. government, it's the President who makes important decisions by executive orders that have the force of law. A lot of political scientists, constitutional lawyers, and citizens are afraid that the U.S. President has become too powerful. Many experts are afraid that the President has become so powerful that our democracy is threatened. But I believe the U.S. needs a strong president because we need to be able to respond quickly to emergencies at home and threats abroad. This is an interesting topic because the decisions that are made by the President affect all of us. For instance, Congress, under Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution, has the enumerated power to declare war. But the last time Congress declared war was after the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor in World War II. Since then, the President has decided when and to what extent the U.S. should go to war. Some of the results have been disastrous. President Bush decided to invade Afghanistan and Iraq. He exceeded the congressional authorization allowing the use of force by toppling both governments. These conflicts became the longest war in the history of the U.S., costing trillions of dollars. Most Americans think it wasn't worth it. The people who fear the President has become too strong have good reasons to argue that Congress should play a bigger role. After all, it's Congress that our founding fathers thought would lead the country and make these important decisions. The idea that Congress should be the most powerful branch of government is discussed by Eric Posner, a law professor, in his book The Executive Unbound. Posner points out that the world has changed a lot since James Madison authored the Constitution. You have to remember in 1789 when the Constitution was written, mail was delivered on horseback, and it took months for messages to cross the Atlantic. In that world, Congress had time to debate. Now things are completely different. The U.S. economy is one of the biggest in the world. Dangers abroad require quick responses. The people who fear the rise of presidential power generally argue that it is unconstitutional for the executive branch to make policy decisions like declaring war or major decisions about immigration policies such as DACA or building a wall. They argue it should be Congress who makes these decisions by creating law. They argue that Congress is the representational branch and the voice of the people. Experts like Posner have two responses to these arguments. First, it's really hard for Congress to do anything. Just think about all the steps required for Congress to pass a bill. Remember that both the House and the Senate must pass the exact same bill. This means that a majority of the 435 members of the House of Representatives must agree in order to pass the bill out of the House. Then, 51 of the 100 senators must also agree on that exact same language. If the Senate changes even one word of the bill, the bill must go to a joint conference committee so the House and the Senate can agree on the final language. Then that bill has to go back to the House and be passed by the majority of the voters again. Then it can go to the Senate where it has to be approved by a majority of the senators. But the Senate has the filibuster rule. This means that even one senator can filibuster the bill, and the filibuster can only be broken by a vote of 60 senators. It's no wonder why Congress can't get anything done. The second reason the President is better suited to make big decisions is that they are the only elected official who represents the nation as a whole. Each member of the House of Representatives is primarily concerned with their district, and each senator is primarily concerned with their state. None of them are going to care as much as the President about foreign relations, who must look out for the nation as a whole. The President is the only elected official who has a national constituency. The people who argue the President is too powerful have to propose some alternative. The expectation that Congress is going to run the country is not realistic. The executive branch is still checked by Congress if Congress passes a law, and is also checked by the courts, who can declare executive orders unconstitutional. The fact is, we need a strong president to lead the nation.